Hi ladies, good afternoon. It is Sarah Shipton here from Scrapbooking with Sarah, and I'm coming live to you today on Tuesday, October 29 for this week's Technique Tuesday class. And I'm going to be sharing with you today the paper sweet Halloween memories. Now I know you're looking at this layout and you're thinking this does not look like Halloween. You are correct. It is actually a really fun day out at a beach club in Bali called Mississippi. But I'm going to be sharing papers with you from the Halloween Memories paper suite and how I have incorporated that onto this fun poolside layout. And the technique I'm going to be sharing with you today is how to use the spotlight on nature dies to create these really fun focal embellishment clusters for your scrapbooking layout. So thank you so much for joining us today. Miss Tyler is here. Hi Tyler, it's great to see you on today for Technique Tuesday. I am going live a little later in the day. For those of you that follow me on the socials, I know that some of you have seen earlier this morning I was down at Largs North doing a really fun card making class with one of my customers, Miss Teresa, who actually has recently joined my Stampin' Up team as a demonstrator, which is very exciting. And she's got a really funky little coffee shop down at Largs North. And I went along this morning to do a card making class down there for her in her cafe and share the card making love with some of her regular customers that popped in to see what we were doing. So a shout out to Teresa at the Coffee Cure Cafe down at Largs North. Thank you so much for having me this morning. And here I am this afternoon doing Technique Tuesday for you lovely ladies. So this week's pattern is from Make It From Your Heart Volume 2 book, and we are working with pattern number 4, which is on pages 12 and 13. It is a double page scrapbooking layout, and the layout has 7 photos on here, but I don't know if you've noticed with my 6 1/4 by 6 1/4 inch square here on the right hand side of the page, I've actually cropped my photos down into little 3 by 3 inch squares. I didn't have a 6 inch by 6 inch photo. If you didn't know, you can actually print your photos in 6 by 6 inch size. It's a square size photo. You can do that in store, or you can upload it from your device using the Harvey Norman Photo Center app, and they can print your photos in 6 by 6 square, but they do print them. I'm just trying to remember now, the 4 by 4 inch photos, I know they print off site, and I can't remember if the 6 by 6 is off site or not either. If Kayla joins us today, and here's this shout out, I know that Kayla does create her photo collages as 3 by 3. She puts 4 3 by 3 inch photos onto a square photo, and then she just prints it 6 by 6 and she cuts it herself, which is very clever. Diane is here. Hi Diane, thanks so much for joining us today. It's great to see you online today. But I didn't have a 6 by 6 inch photo. So these were just 4 by 6 inch photos, and I've cut them down into 3 by 3 inch squares. And then I've made a collage on top of my 6 1/4 by 6 1/4 inch photo mat. So that's my little tip there for you. So we've got 4 photos, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 photos. And then I've actually added a flip flap. I'm going to take this out of the memory protector in a moment because we're going to have a little bit of glare on the video screen here. But by putting the flip flap on the top of my memory protector, it's allowed me to get 2 extra 3 by 4 inch photos on top of the one here on my base page. So let's slide that out now. I've shown you how it works. And for those of you that have been following me for some time, you will know that I'm a really big fan of the flip flap. So 12 photos there, and I obviously took more than 12 photos this particular day at this beach club. We were celebrating my husband's 50th birthday and my daughter's fiance's 30th birthday. We met in Bali and we did a joint birthday celebration for the boys, and this was a fun day out that we had celebrating. They brought cake. I took lots of photos, but now I've got 12 of my favorite photos. I've printed them and I've got one layout of that day at Mississippi Beach Club. So it just goes to show that, yes, you can take lots of photos of a particular event, but by just focusing on your most favorite photos, you can see here I've got some little 2x2 inch ones. I love to take photos of things that are happening around me, not necessarily people. You can see here I've got the beach towels and the pineapples, which were in this beautiful big rustic bowl, greeting us at the check-in counter when we arrived. This is why I've brought in this beautiful wood grain paper here. So this is from the Country Woods Designer Series paper suite. This was a photo lying down on the daybed looking up with the beautiful flowers in the sky and the umbrella. This was just a little photo here. This was a really fun, they had like a diving platform here at the beach club. And so this was actually in the background of my photo, and you didn't actually really notice it. As you can see here, we've got the focus here on the four of us, but this was pretty much one of the main reasons we chose this particular beach club that day, because I had this fun diving platform there. And I knew that that would be something fun that my husband and our daughter would love to do together. So by cutting that photo down into a little 2x2 inch photo, I can just pop that on there, and you can see that it really gives a whole overview of the vibe and the atmosphere and just really the fun of the day. Like, I literally look at these photos and they make me so happy, and they take me back to those good times that we had, the little slice of summer, and it just looks fun and vibrant and makes me super happy. So this is why I love to scrapbook, because I love looking back at my photos. I love journaling my stories. There wasn't I didn't make a big room for my journaling box this week here, and I've actually used the Spotlight on Nature dies as my journal feature. I've put a sticker over the top of that die using the Stampin' Dimensionals. So these are some little foam dimensionals that you can put onto the back of your die cut shapes and your stickers, just to elevate your embellishments, and just pop them up, give it a little bit of a texture as well, which I love. And I've just journaled here, such a fun day celebrating the boys' 50th and 30th birthdays, cake, cocktails, daybeds, DJs, and diving. What a vibe. And it really just sums up the fun that we had for the day. So 12 photos there. I've used the Halloween Memories paper here, which was left over from my Halloween Memories scrapbooking workshop kit. You are going to have a fair bit of cardstock left over with this scrapbooking workshop kit, girls. Okay, so there is extra cardstock in this kit. Now, I know that you will hear me talk about consume versus collect when we talk about scrapbooking workshop kits. There was quite a bit of extra cardstock left over. That was accidental. There is not a huge amount. I have already used some of the pattern paper on last week's scrapbooking layout. So what I have on this week's scrapbooking layout was really the little bits of leftover I had with the pattern pool party here. I've used the pattern pool party paper here as well to cut out this Spotlight on Nature die. I've got the Granny Apple Green and then the pool party cardstock, which was also left over. And then what I did was I used, you might have heard me talk about this a couple of weeks ago in one of my scrapbooking challenges. I talked about the color theory, which is on pages 132 and 133 of your Stampin' Up! Annual catalogue. So this will help you to become more confident with coordinating your colours, mixing them together, and also working with contrast colours as well. So I love this colour wheel. It's absolutely fantastic. And I really want you to feel like you can be creative and build your confidence in combining different colour combinations together that you might not have tried before, okay? So the pool party and the Granny Apple Green were part of my Halloween Memory scrapbooking workshop kit, okay? But I needed another colour to come into my layout with this particular pattern. You can see that we've done the cutting instructions here, And then I needed a 5th sheet of paper. So this could be pattern paper or it could be cardstock. But this sheet here indicates the cuts that I'm going to do for all of my photo mats. So I only needed 1 color of cardstock. And obviously I wanted to go with something really bright and colorful. I really wanted to bring in the pink from these beautiful florals. You can see here they've got all of the floral vines running along the pergola of the beach club on the opposite side of the pool here. They've got the pink in the towel. So I really was like, right, I want to bring in one of the pinks. I've got a bit of a blue-green combination happening here because I've used leftover Pool Party and Granny Apple Green. Let's have a look at what colour combination I could work with to bring in that other colour. And I knew straight away I was going to go for a complementary colour. So that is when you are looking at opposite sides of your colour wheel, pairing colours that are opposite to each other to create a really fun, bold contrast. So I think you can tell, wouldn't you say? Hi, Sandra. Thank you so much for joining us. And Maggie's here as well. Thanks so much for jumping online today, Maggie. Wouldn't you agree that my layout looks really fun and bold and inviting? Definitely. And so by taking that risk and bringing in a really nice, bright pink, in fact, it's the color Melon Mambo. By bringing in that brighter color, it's really helped to elevate my scrapbooking layout. Now, to help me with my color combination as well, in the back of your annual catalogue, ladies, you've got all your color collections. So I had Pool Party, which is from the Subtles, and I also had Granny Apple Green, which was from the Brights. So I had the option, do I want to go with a subtle pink or do I want to go with a more brighter pink? And I think that you can tell from the brightness of these flowers, I opted for the brighter pink. And I actually invested in one of each of these packets of cardstock assortment colours. So I've got the cardstock assortment in Subtles, I've got it in Brights, I've got it in Regals, and I've got it in Neutrals as well. And then I've also ordered one of each of these for the in colours. Now, my suggestion to you would be to start with neutrals because neutrals are going to go with everything, all right? It won't matter what colour combination you choose, your neutrals are going to coordinate with all of the colours. And then in terms of bringing in your other colour collections, that's going to really depend on the colours in your photos. So I had a lighter pink here, and I put Flirty Flamingo up against my photos. I put Melon Mambo up against my photos. And then I also chose the Petal Pink. And hands down, straight away, I could see that Melon Mambo was the colour combination that was going to coordinate best with Pool Party and Granny Apple Green, but also the colours in my photos. So I hope that by sharing that with you, it's given you some tips to think about when you are looking at your colour combinations. And if you haven't got a copy of the annual catalogue, please contact me because I can mail this out to you. And in fact, I'm pretty sure that you can add a single copy of a catalogue to an order that you place online on my website. I will double check that. I know most of my regular customers that I see at workshops on a monthly basis have already got their copy of their annual catalogue, but if you don't have a copy of this, let me know and I can mail one out to you. The catalogue retails for $7 and then there'd be a small postage and handling fee on top of that, but please contact me and I can definitely get a copy of that out to you because I absolutely feel that just having that colour theory wheel in front of you with the different combinations of ways that you can be inspired by coordinating colour for your scrapbooking and also your card making, I honestly feel that the $7 is literally worth that investment alone. I've just got my water here with me today, girls. Excuse me. I'm still getting over that horrible strep throat infection I had a few weeks ago, would you believe? Okay, so that's the layout, 12 photos. That's how I've got my color combination in here. Now, I mentioned to you earlier that I brought in a neutral colour as well with my papers. So when it came time to choosing the papers for pattern number 4, you can see that we're going to use 4 different papers on your layout, but 2 of your papers, so you're going to have, they're going to coordinate. Oh no, hang on, sorry. B is on that side and M is on that side, and then C and L are opposite, and then D is here as well. Okay, so this is a great way for you to use your scraps up. Your photo mats, you will need 1 whole sheet of paper or cardstock, and then I needed to have some paper to go at the bottom of my left-hand page and the top of my right-hand side layout as well, okay? And I was tossing up between what other colour to bring in, and I felt like I didn't really need, I've got blue, pink and green, I didn't really need another colour being thrown in the mix there. So this is where it's a good idea to opt for a neutral colour, okay? So I looked at, you can see here you've got the wood grain of the bowl, you've got the pull bar here as well. I've got that really nice textured wood grain look. And if you haven't noticed the Country Woods Designer Series paper, this is on page 51 of your annual catalogue. I will be sure to post links to the comments. This is a really great, I love wood grain paper, I love textured paper. This is a really great paper pack to have in your disposal, because, or at your disposal I should say, because when I pulled this pack out, it was really just a matter of pairing up the different wood grain textures, and I settled on this lighter grey wood grain texture paper. And then of course I could also have taken something from the neutrals here, maybe a grey or a brown here. I could have taken from the neutrals there to add as another sheet of paper there. So I will be sure to post some links to these products below to help you feel more confident with pairing those papers up. Now let's get to my dovetailing here. So these little bits of paper, I have just dovetailed those. So that's a little trick where with your scissors, your snips scissors, you can actually cut into the middle of your rectangular piece of paper, and then you'll cut from the outside corner in, and then from the outside corner in, and this is how you get your little dovetail effect. And then I've just added some clear adhesive backed sequins over the top of that, just to bling it up a little bit. I'm going to go through and show you how I've done this embellishment cluster with the die cuts. Excuse me. So I'm going to share that with you, and then I'm going to share this one with you as well. Thanks for your patience there with me today, girls. This is always the fun part of going live. Hi, Chris. And there's Doreen. Thanks so much for coming online today, girls. Okay, so I'm going to grab out my die cutting and embossing machine. I've got my Stamp and Cut and Emboss here, and I'm going to share the Spotlight on Nature dies with you. Okay. So these particular dies are actually in your annual catalogue, and when I was looking through the first products that I wanted to invest in as a new Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, this was a die set that I knew that I wanted to have straight away. Now, I haven't invested in the stamp set. This particular bundle, you can get it as a bundle with both the stamps and the dies at a 10% discount. And you can see some beautiful artwork that has been created here with the floral stamp set and the dies. But because I was starting out, obviously I had transitioned from close to my heart as a scrapbooker. I was looking for die cuts that were big and that would take up space on my scrapbooking layout, because obviously you're working with a 12 by 12 inch page. I needed something that was going to take up a lot of that space. So I actually have only invested in the die cut sets. You get 12 dies in here, girls. It retails for $61. This is, I'm in Australian dollars. And the largest die is 3 by 3 7/8. Okay, so I'm going to open up the die cut pack, and you can see I've already got some in here, and these are some of the leftover ones that I did. So what I love to do with my scraps of paper is I love to just smash out a whole heap of different size dies and see what I come up with. Now you can see here that this one I don't have a complete circle, but I'm going to tell you a little secret. This circle here is not a complete circle. I didn't have a lot of my pattern paper left over, but I wanted to use what pattern paper I had because I thought that that pattern paper was a great contrast against just the plain cardstock. So this section of the circle here is actually cut off. So don't be discouraged by that, because even though you're not going to cut a complete circle, you can still accent a large sticker title or even overlap some of your smaller dies to make a little circle cluster, okay? So I have strategically put this sticker here, a slice of summer, over the top of that circle where it's not complete. And then I've added a little star here, again, so you don't see that that straight edge circle. I've put another little circle die here, and then I've just done 3 clear white sequins as a little embellishment cluster, and that just finishes it off. It looks really simple. It's not over the top, and it just works perfect. So don't be afraid to use those bits of cardstock or pattern paper that you've got that aren't complete, because there's like I literally just have to tuck that under there, and I've got a embellishment cluster. So if I open this up, you can see here, oh, this is starting to come unstuck. I've got 12 dies, so 6 on each side. I think these are really great value, girls, and I tell you what, this large circle, if you are a scrapbooker, even a card maker, this is going to be a die set that I promise you that you are going to use again and again and again. Now, I know that many of you have got just plain circles, but as you can see, these particular circles have got patterns on them. And so when you go to cut those circle dies out, you end up with this really cute little border pattern around the inside of your circle, which I absolutely love. So I'm going to actually demonstrate these dies to you today. I've got some scrap paper here. I've got my bases here. So I've got my die cutting edge, plate number 1. I've got plate number 2 for my dies as well. And then I've got my cutting plates. So I'm just going to grab some paper, see what I've got in my stash here. Oh, look here. I've got a perfect bit of pool party cardstock. I could even use some of like the green bubble paper or the black and white paper. I'm going to use pool party because I know I'll use this again and again. Now, this is the new two-tone cardstock as well, which I'm super excited about. So I'm just going to pop that on here. And then one of the things I love to do with my dies, this is my favorite one out of the Spotlight on Nature. So you've got 3 different patterns. This is like a little trio pattern. This is a continual pattern that goes all the way around. This reminds me of, oh, what does this remind me of? It almost reminds me of like the bottom of like a tin, like a tin of fruit, the pattern that's on the inside of the bottom of the tin. So you can see here, by using up that paper, if I take my die right to the edge here, I'm just going to get some washi tape just to secure that in place, because that will just make my life a little bit easier. And let me cut this one as well. This one's a little different. So if I've got a bit of cardstock that I'm going to run through, I want to make sure that I'm making best use of my time, and I'm running that through, and I'm trying to get as many circles out of that as I possibly can. Can I fit this one on here? Let's see. Yeah, we'll put this one on here. So it doesn't matter. This one's probably going to go off the edge a little bit, but like I said, that's okay. So I'm just going to stick some washi tape on that just to secure that in place there. And then pop my cutting mat over the top of that, and we are going to run this through my Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine. I'm obsessed with this Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine, girls, I have to tell you. This is the 3rd die cutting and embossing machine I've invested in the last 11 years, and hands down is the best one I've used. So I'm just running that through. I'm going to take that out. I'm going to move my Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine to the side here. And I'm going to take that out because I want to show you something here when I lift this up, because it just cuts so beautifully. Look, most of those little pieces have all come out. Now, I could use that as an embellishment cluster, like what I was talking about before here. I could use this as a journal box, so I could rule lines on this. I could use this as a circle base on the middle of my cards. I could do some stamping. As you can see, you've got some beautiful examples here, an artwork of how they've used the Spotlight on Nature stamp set with the die together. So some gorgeous examples there to inspire you with your creativity. So that one's punched out really well. But what I want to show you here, I'm going to get these other circles out first, because we're going to end up with... Now, I do want you, if you're going to use washi tape to hold your cardstock in place, just be careful when you peel that off, because it's a two-tone cardstock. What that means is the cardstock has actually been dyed on either side. So it's a plain white sheet of cardstock. It's white core in the middle, and it will be dyed on one side and then dyed on another side, okay? So because it's a dye cardstock, if I was to pull that washi tape off with force, then it could very well tear your cardstock, okay? Or you'll end up seeing some of the white core on that. Now, if that's the look you're going for, awesome. But if it's not, then you do want to be careful when you peel that back. So look how perfect that's come out. So this is what I was talking about before, that if you've got a straight edge of your circle, don't worry about it, because you can cover that up underneath another circle, and that just makes a really fun little cluster there, okay? So I hope that makes sense to you. I'm just going to throw that in the bin. I'm going to pop that to the side here. So what's happened now is, while that die cutting has worked spectacularly, it's punched out all the little pieces for my circles, I have ended up with all of the bits of the cardstock actually inside my die. So what I used to do, oh look, well there we go, there's one way. You could literally just tap that on your desk and the bits could come out. But what I used to do was, I had a little pokey tool. This was not the one that I was using, but I just used tweezers, and I'd get the pokey edge of it, and I'd go all the way around with my pokey tool, and I would literally punch out all of the bits of cardstock that were stuck inside the die. Now, I know you're watching that and you're thinking, really? That's going to take you forever, Sarah. So I want to introduce you to this fantastic tool, which is called the Take Your Pick Die tip. Take your pick tool. It's the Take Your Pick tool. But then there are extra little bits that you can purchase individually to rotate on this tool. So if I was to take that lid off and unscrew that, at the other end, I've got a spatula piece here, which I can use for lifting off embellishments or photos I popped on the wrong place. But what I invested in was, it's called the Take Your Pick die brush tip. Now, I know that is a mouthful. You need to get your tool first. You've also got a putty end on your tool, which you can use to get sequins and individual embellishments out of your little packs. You can actually pop that inside the bag to take the embellishments out with. And then you actually get a refill of the putty with the tool. And you get, also I've just put these in a little baggie to keep them all together, because they came in like a cardboard box. This is a stylus that you can use for scoring, okay, or embossing. So I've just got them in a little baggie to keep that all together. But what I can do here is I can actually unscrew that putty bit off, and using my Take Your Pick die brush tip, I can screw that in there like so. And this brush tip also came with 2 of these foam squares. So we only need 1 to start off with. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put my die cut that I've just run through my embossing machine, that's got all these bits of cardstock stuck in there. I'm going to put that over the top. And then with my die brush, I'm actually just going to run that over the die. and that brush is going to, a lot quicker and easier, get out all those little bits of cardstock there, okay? And then I can just pick up that foam mat and I can just tap that inside my bin like so. So less mess with this. And I can pop my other one just inside there like so. And then I can pop them away in my organizer and I'm all good to go. So I will definitely post links to that tool as well, because I know that that has been very popular with some of my customers that have invested in this die brush tip already. So that is how I've cut my circles out, and then I've used them as embellishment clusters on my layout for the stickers here, and then also another one here and just put stars over the top, and then I've got some little clear sequins here as well, okay? So just grouping them together, and I got inspiration on where to put my embellishment clusters by following the pattern in my how-to book. So you can see here, they've got an embellishment cluster here with all these flowers. So I've just used my Spotlight on Nature dies for that. And they've got some embellishment clusters and some journaling strips down here as well. So I just used my Spotlight on Nature dies to make my embellishment cluster here, that little feature, popped a sticker over the top. Now, with the Halloween memories, obviously with my scrapbooking workshop kit, it came with Halloween stickers, and this is not a Halloween layout. So what I did is I went to my stash and I had a look at what stickers I had in my stash that would go with these colors. So I've used Pool Party, Granny Apple Green, and Melon Mambo. And these two packs, which are currently in my online store at 30% off, these were the Close to My Heart branded products that Stampin' Up purchased. So I have used the Gnomes for Summer paper pack and sticker sheet, and also the Gnomes for Summer, the Soda Pop paper pack and sticker sheet. In fact, you can see some of the Spotlight on Nature circle dies I've punched out already extra and had them there. So what I did was, because these colours, you can see the pinks and the green and the blue was very similar to the Stampin' Up colours that I've used here. I actually took stickers from these two packs to embellish my layout. So this little pineapple sticker here was from Gnomes for Summer. A Slice of Summer was also from Gnomes for Summer. The stars, the little blue stars I've used, and the green stars here, they were from Soda Pop. And then this little pink, looks like a little starfish, she was from Gnomes for Summer. And then the journal box and the Good Times sticker came from Soda Pop. So you can see by pairing up these two discounted products, because the colour scheme was the same, with my Halloween memories, I'm literally turned this into a beautiful poolside, beachy, summery layout, and that was using papers left over from my Halloween kit. So I really hope that this has inspired you to feel more confident with coordinating your colours, using the Spotlight on Nature dies as embellishment clusters, and also coordinating your Close to My Heart branded products with your Stampin' Up products as well, girls. Thank you so much for watching. For those of you that were live with me today, I will post this video to our Facebook group and I will pop comments below with all of the products that I have shared with you today. Thanks so much for being here. Oh, I forgot to mention the Mississippi title. That was from a discontinued Close to My Heart die set. This was one of the die sets that they made available not long after Close to My Heart made the announcement they were closing. This was the outlined number and alphabets. So obviously there is a fantastic alphabet set that I've shared with you many times before as part of the Stampin' Up range. I wanted a bigger title to go through the middle here, so I did use a Close to My Heart set that I had in my stash. I hope that we will get to see more alphabet sets for our scrapbooking come from Stampin' Up for sure. I think that will be a great addition to our product range. Thank you all for watching, and I can't wait to see the layout that you create this week, girls. And apologies for my little coughing mid-video. Have a great week. Bye for now.